Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Bim bam, bim bidi bam. Bim bidi bim bidi bum. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Jim Murray, and I'm the guy that didn't step backwards fast enough when they said, please step forward for who's going to be here tonight. So I want to welcome you to Temple Beth David. We are a URJ-affiliated temple here in Snellville, Georgia, east of Atlanta. Want to thank all the folks here. We want to thank Barry and Jeannie Nicholsberg, who are here with us in spirit this evening. Frank Monteleone on the guitar. Bobby Horowitz, our vice president here and lead guitarist. My beautiful wife, Heather Murray, and mother of 5 children. My beautiful 5 children. And back in the back, Denise Whitlock, our streaming specialist, and Judy Kern, our president, and handling the online chat. So if you have anything to say throughout this, all the bad things you want to say about me, she's going to have it there in the chat. So you're welcome to hit her up on chat. So things are going to be probably a little disjointed this evening. This is my first time running the Shabbat service. So we're going to do our best to keep it moving nice and smooth and take it on from there. But one of the things I did want to at least share, I saw a meme today on Facebook, and it was Snoopy on top of his doghouse, and he was laying there looking up at the sky and said, Shabbat is for not moving. And I thought, what a great idea, just to sit back and rest. And that's what we want to be able to do on Shabbat. So we're going to get started with the lighting of the candles, and my dear wife Heather is going to take it from here.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who shall behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own way, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So as we proceed, our next song is Lecado D. And we here at Temple Beth David, we sing the 1st, 5th, and 9th verses. And on the 9th verse, we will ask you to stand physically or spiritually and face the door that you entered in so we can welcome in the Shabbat bride. Lecado D. La 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 the kadodi, la 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 the gratkala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat. Stop nor bizakon, Idiberechad. Ishmeanu, Ilhem Dukam, Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad. V'shemo K'eret, V'litil la 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 kadodi, la 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 the gratkala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat. Hitoreri, 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 Uri, 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 Yitabe Uri, Kivod Adonai, all it thinks, la 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 the kadodi, la 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 the gratkala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat. Please stand. Be'udi Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam B'Simcha, U'V'Kola, To'tevu Le'oi, Am Zekula, Oikala, Oikala, la 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 kadodi, la 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 the gratkala, la 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 Panei Shabbat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat, Panei Shabbat the Kabbalat. Thank you. You may be seated. At this point, we're going to ask Bobby Horowitz to go ahead and lead us in the Reader's Kaddish.
And feel free to join me, please. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba v'yamad yivarach yirutei v'yamik malchutei b'chayechonu v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimeru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam Ulal Me'al Maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yihada, V'yitale, V'yitalal, Shemei D'Kudusha B'richu, Leila Min Kokachata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Dami Ran Ve'alma V'imru Amen.
All right. At this time, we will sing the Baruch. Okay. Did I miss that in my notes? Yes, I do. Please stand physically or spiritually. Told you this is going to be a little choppy tonight. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai. Amen. Baruch Adonai. Amevorak, Amevorak, Leolam Vahed. Amevorak, Amevorak, Leolam Vahed. Thank you. You can be seated. And now, I apologize. I've been missing page numbers, so I'm going to try to remember them now. So I'm going to have Heather go ahead and read on page 150. She's going to read Everlasting Love. Mike's not on.
Rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them. For they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ohev emo Israel.
Thank you. And on page 151, Heather will continue with Wisdom and Wonder.
Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more
All right. Thank you. So, how are we doing in the back with that mic? It's going up and down? We don't know? Okay.
Well, we'll use my mic if we have to.
Okay. We have the other wired one here too. So, all right. Next on our agenda, page 152. We'll please stand physically or spiritually, and we'll do the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Melakuto Leolam Vahed. Shem Kivu Malachuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, page 154. We are to the Via Hafta, and Bobby is going to help us with the Via Hafta.
And again, join me. Don't feel like I have to do this by myself. Please read along with me. Via Hafta, et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavcha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochvecha uv'kumecha, uv'shartat liot al yadecha, uv'chatotafot b'neinecha, uv'taftam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. Leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem eretz Mitzrayim, v'yot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
Thank you. And now, on page 158, we are going to sing Mika Mocha. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 ya la 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 la. Mika mocha ve'elim Adonai, Mika mocha ne'nevo kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Malachutecha malachutecha, Okei hayam nifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Hey Aliyah Nuviyaru, Hey Aliyah Nuviyaru, Adonai Yimlo Le'olam Vaed, Adonai Yimlo Le'olam Vaed. Mika mocha le'alim Adonai, Mika mocha ne'nevo kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. And then on page 160, it's time for Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu malakenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Right. Now, ready? Tefillah. Page 164. Please stand again, physically or spiritually, and we will start with the tefillah. Anananananana sabtai tiftah. Anananananana tafiyagid. Tafiyagid tahilatecha. Anananananana Adonai. Anananananana sabtai tiftah. Anananananana oviyagid. Oviyagid tahilatecha. Anananananana Adonai. Anananananana sabtai tiftah. Anananananana oviyagid. Oviyagid tahilatecha. And then Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Eloheinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gamil Chasadim Tovim, Konei Hachol, V'Sakoker Chasadim V'Del Mehahot, Umevi Gulah L'Nei, V'Amuna Shema V'Yahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach Magim, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, V'Zara, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mekayeh HaKol Atah Rapha Loshia, Morid Hatel, Mekayel Chaim Bekesed, Mekayeh HaKol Barakamim Rabim, Sohomek Noflim Rofrei Kolim, Umatir Asorim, Kayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Mikamokam Bal Gevarot, Umidomelach, Melech Memid, Memakaye, Umatzmiya Yeshua, Venamata Lechayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekaye HaKol. Atah Kadosh, Bishkameka Kadosh, Mikadoshim Bikoyam L'Chiyah Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. Okay. At this point, we just want to take and have that moment of silence. I mentioned it at the beginning, that time to let the things out of our head and just have quiet time here in the shul. So please take a moment of silence. It's time he למחזים כמח ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכנועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה קדש ימינו וקדם חיים היא למרכזים כמבק ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכנועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה קדש ימינו וקדם. All right. And now it's time for our Mishaberak requests.
Okay, this is another non-scripted moment. We're going to do the people in-house first, and then I'm going to go back and read chat, because
That
I can't
works
be in
for
two
me.
places at one time.
That works.
Glenn Shern. Okay, wait. Sorry about that. Penny and Marty Gross, Sarah Gambrell, Peter Yarrow, Sandy Steinberger, Morrison Felice Friedman, Katie Walmer, the country of Ukraine, all those still suffering from long-haul COVID-19, Linda and Steve Ely and Andrew Fine.
Feli Bonehook,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eldo Hartz, Mary D. Bonehook.
All right.
Linda and Steve Ely, Susan and Larry Aft, Linda Ehrensaft, Marcy Schulman, Nina Schulman, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Lois and Alan Sorkin, Jack Frank, Tanya Hurst, Eddie Young, Mob Francis, Amy Goldstone, Jerry Wells, Lisa Miller, Sandy Tejan, Mike Roth, Dennis Sadler, Lisa Ann Gaston, Arlene Conley, William Nichols, Kerry Rozier, Jackie Freeman, Don Freeman, Robert Whitlock, Barbara Whitlock, Terry Hurst.
Frank? Bobby?
Susie Horowitz, Eric Fletcher, Andrew Wheeler, Edwin Speck.
And I would add Alexis Scalar and my little buddy, Charlie Scalar. Yes,
Roxana Gomez, Patty Beeman.
thank you. All right. So let's sing our Misha Barak.
Yishebera avotenu mikor habracha leimotenu.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishevera imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. All right. It is now time for our Devar Torah. And this evening's Parsha, I'll get to it here. I know, the pressure's on now. I've got it here, though. It is Parshat Bahar. And this is the 32nd weekly Torah portion in the annual cycle of Jewish reading. So, just so that, in case you didn't know, it's the 32nd. But it comes from Leviticus 25, 1 through 26, 2. And it's actually quite interesting, I thought, because it's got a couple areas, but it has a lot to do with just some basic things about life and things that help us live. And that's agriculture. And you think, okay, well, Jim, are you a farmer? Well, no, I'm not a farmer, but when I was a kid, my dad had a garden, and I had to pick rocks and pull weeds, and I had to do all that stuff and help pick the vegetables when they came. So I get a little bit of an experience, and I think my better experience as a farmer is really because I have a daughter who has a master's degree from Texas A&M, and that A in the A&M is agriculture. Now, her degree's in public health, but it's got to come through agriculture somehow, some way. So I'm here as an expert to talk to you about this Parsha and agriculture. And so you're all sitting here at this point saying, okay, he's definitely not an expert in agriculture. Well, okay, I'm not. I work with computers for a living. But I went out and did a little bit of research, and I've got my trusty helper, my dear wife here. Is everything ready? We're going to go ahead and watch a short 4-minute video on Bahar and a lot of what the agricultural part of this means. So take it away. There. Are you? Oh, okay.
In Parshat Bahar, God gives Moses some advice on a rather unexpected subject: sustainable farming practices. At first, this doesn't seem like a very logical thing for the Torah to talk about. Specifically, Bahar comes in the wake of some very unflower bed-like ideas. Like last week in Parshat Emor, we learned about the rules for priests, how to celebrate the holidays, and the killing of blasphemers. Pretty heavy stuff. Whereas salads, on the other hand, are, well, light and delicious. It comes as quite a curveball when God tells Moses that the children of Israel will farm the land for 6 years straight and then take the 7th year off as a year of rest. Moses and the people are in the desert. There is no water, let alone mineral-rich soil, seeds, and all the other good stuff needed to start a farm. But the Torah is always looking ahead with long-term plans. So once the people have land, God says to grow fruits, vegetables, and till the ground for 6 years. Enjoy all the wonderful bounty that comes out of the land and savor the taste of this freshly grown food. Then, on the 7th year, stop. For the 7th year shall be a year of complete rest for the land. There will be no growing of wheat, no harvesting grapes for wine, and all of the cultivation of the land will come to a complete halt. You can't own or sell anything. It will fall off the trees and the vines, and it must lie there for anyone's taking. You, your workers, your neighbors, and all the animals around. The 7th year will give the soil and the farmers a much-needed rest. Just like Shabbat, the 7th day, when humans are commanded to stop working and take a break, the land should do the same thing. The year of rest is called Shemitah, which literally means release, and refers to the full year of rest that occurs every 7th year. Also, after 7 cycles of 7 years, on the 50th year, there's a huge jubilee. In that year, which is like a Shabbat of Shabbats, not only can you not plant, sow, or reap from the soil, but all the plots of land go back to the original owner. The people are in the desert now, but in the future, God tells Moses, every family will receive a piece of land. Sure, you can rent or sell your plot, but when the Jubilee year rolls around, the land reverts back to those original owners. That way, no one ends up landless, and there will be no real landlords or tenants, only people with a 49-year rent agreement. Because really, God says, the land is mine. Bahar's strict rules about Shemitah can be really confusing, but incorporating the ideas of rest and release into our lives is important. Farmers need to take the time to rest and sustain themselves, their bodies, and the soil they cultivate year after year. By physically taking a break from farming and tilling the land, this gives our bodies a chance to relax and recuperate. By letting the land rest, this gives the earth a chance to breathe deep and let the rays of sunshine and heavy raindrops penetrate into the soil. If you live near farmland or a farmer's market, you'll notice the seasonality of the crops and what's available at certain times of year. Once the nighttime gets cooler and the first frost comes, there are no more tomatoes on the vine and the strawberries are long gone. We'll have to wait patiently for those red fruits to magically reappear in the spring. By giving the land and the farmers a much-needed rest every 7th year, it helps us stop and greatly appreciate the earth, which holds the rich soil that provides us with precious food that comes out of the ground year after year.
All right. So now you know a little bit more about agriculture and why God put these laws in place for us here in Leviticus 25 to say you need to take a rest. And we know about Shabbat. We're here. We know that at sundown for 25 hours we're supposed to rest. And yet then there's more to it than that. There's the 7 years and taking that 7th year off and letting the land rest. I do know a little bit, having grown up, around some farmers and such. What a lot of the farmers here in the United States have learned to do is they rotate their crops across different fields. Because if you think about what really happens, let's say you just go out and you have this nice little acre of ground and you plant corn. And you plant corn the first year, and the second year, and the third, and fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Well, you start getting less and less yields because the corn is just sucking the nutrients out of the ground. And then it becomes worthless. And we don't want to be in that type of a position. And so there's really 3 things that I wanted to point out from this parsha that spoke to me. This Sabbath, the sabbatical year, and then the year of Jubilee, where, there's even more that goes on there, is all about rest and renewal. We want to let the land rest. At Jubilee, all land goes back to their owner. Think about it. Your family, we talk about maybe the family land. Well, that's what, this parsha is talking about. There was, but then again, God comes back and says, but it's all mine at the end of the day. So, but there's a renewal of restoring people to where they've been. You can get into this. There's a lot of deep stuff in this parsha about indentured servitude and how we're supposed to treat our brothers. And it matters how you treat another member of the tribe. It says so right here in this parsha. You're supposed to go out of your way to help them. If you can redeem their debts, their land, and give it back to them, then you can do that. Or if that's not possible and you purchase the land, you return it in the Jubilee to them. And they're free of their debts. That's all here in this parsha. So there's rest and renewal. There's how do you deal with one another as Jews? How do we treat others? And too many times, sometimes we joke about, how we like to argue. We do. But then we also have to be those same people that are out there willing to give the shirt off our back for our brother. That's what it's talking about here. And there's one more that seems kind of simple. It's kind of it seems like this is in the law all the time, but it jumps out at me. And that's, if you're obedient, you receive blessing. If you're disobedient, there's punishment. You can choose as a farmer to do whatever you want. Plant whatever you want. Don't let the ground rest. And you're probably going to run into problems. And you're probably going to end up, at some point, probably going bankrupt. But then, if you follow God's law, what he tells you here in this parsha, you're going to see his blessing. It was really kind of cool if you dig into it and read it. It says that God will give you in the 6th year enough for the next year and the next year. So he gives you enough to not just get you through the 7th year when you let the ground rest, but he's going to have it, there's going to be that much extra. Two extra years is what you get in the yield of your crops. And then it's even more miraculous in the year of Jubilee because he comes back and says, I'm going to give you 3 years of grain and things to eat if you just do what I tell you to do. Seems simple. Not so simple sometimes. But I would just encourage each one of you, at the end of all of this, the closing words from Leviticus 26:2, you shall keep my Sabbaths and venerate my sanctuary, mine the eternals. And I think that's what we're talking about here. Rest and renewal, obedience and blessing. And don't forget, how you treat other members of the tribe matters. Shabbat Shalom. All right. I apologize again for the page numbers. This time I've got them 586. So we're going to do the Elenu and those that follow, and then we'll be getting to the Mourner's Kaddish after that. So please stand physically or spiritually if you can. Elenu Shabbat Hakol Letendulam Yotzereshi Shelo Asanu Pikol Vilo Samanu Kimishpikot Hanama Shelo Sam Kelkenu Kahem Vikor Aleinu Vikol Hamonam Vanaku Korim Ushmis Karim Umadim Lefne Melech Malkei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim Yosei Haaretz Moshe Yaakov Shekayim Ilamal Ushina Tuzo Bekohem Olim Hu Eloheinu Enod Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato Kakatu B'Torato Yadata Yom Yashivota Elerecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Bashamayim Nimah V'Aretz Yitzhak Elon. Who spreads out the heavens and establishes the earth? Whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world? The eternal is our God. There is none else. God's sovereignty is true, and as it is written in God's Torah, you will know the day and take to heart. The eternal is the only God in heaven above and the earth below. There is no other. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech ha'oretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo Thank you. Please be seated. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. And we say, Zikronam Livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. Okay. I've got the list, and I'm hopefully not going to mess this one up. Do we have anyone who is in Shiva for 7 days? I believe Dennis Clausen. Anyone else? All right. And then we're looking, I'll get my notes here. Shloshim, first 30 days. We would mention John McPeak. And then those from this year. Anyone in the congregation? I'll go ahead and read these names. Larry Kramer, David Yarborough, Sylvia Colt, Rossi Davis, Jack Smith, Laura Rusniak-Rosen, Lois Jutzi, Michael Bernard, Annette Carter, Edna Dockerman, Robert Diskin, Erwin Finkelman, Mickey Kroll, Daniel Roach, Nicholas Collins, Ed Gallup, Frank Perrone, Barbara Babbitt, Thomas Hawk, Evelyn Hawk, Luke Hawk, Eugene Schmuckler. And at this time, in years past, Gerald Roman. Okay. At this time, we can go and recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598.
Please rise.
Thank you.
V'yit gadal, v'yit kadash, shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon, v'yom echon, uv'chaei v'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uv'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mavorach, le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yit barach, yit tabach, yit parar, yit romam, yit naseh. Yit hadar, yit aleh, yit halal, shemei dekudisha barichu. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim elenu v'yokol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mruma, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'yokol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
All right, please be seated. And we're going to do Vishamru for our last song. Then we'll do announcements, and then Ivarekaka, and we'll be done. Vishamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat medoratim barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat medoratim barit olam. B'nei Israel, B'nei Israel, ohi le'olam. Vishamru B'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat medoratim barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashemayim yet haaretz. Vishamru B'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורתים ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. תשמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתים ברית עולם. All right, and announcements off the top. Thank you, Officer Jason Myers. We appreciate you here and every day that you're out there taking and protecting us, putting your life on the line. Birthdays. I saw a birthday here. Let's see. Birthdays and anniversaries. Martha Whitman has a birthday coming up. Justin McElhaney. Is that the McElhaney? And Alicia McElhaney have an anniversary. I don't know if that means to each other. They're both here. They have the same last name, so we're going to assume that one. There's our birthdays, anniversaries. Judy, I'm turning it over to you to bail me out here so we can get to Eva Rekika and get going.
In keeping with current CDC guidelines, TBD has gone mask optional for those who are fully vaccinated. Masks are still required for anyone not fully vaccinated. Please consider joining us in the sanctuary to worship as a community. Please continue to read your TBD emails for announcements and event details. Also, plan to attend this year's annual congregation meeting on this Sunday, the 22nd. This year will be multi-access. Plan to attend either in person or on Zoom. And next week, we will have a rabbinic candidate to lead all services, both Friday and Saturday. Please plan to come or watch on YouTube or StreamSpot.
All right. Thank you. And we'll close with the priestly blessing, Eva Rekika. Yivarecha Adonai v'yisarecha. May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord make his face to shed light upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his face unto you and give you peace. Shabbat Shalom.